We're going to start the Q&A session. A general question, which is very, well, the topic on fire. And it sounds like with Donald Trump's in the White House and Elon Musk as a leader in cryptocurrency, how do you predict the future of real estate? What are your thoughts on that? And I would like to give a word to anyone who would like to start.
I mean, I think the RCBI program, especially in Europe, must be very happy for this event. I believe that we've seen a lot of spiking in demand. Potentially, also Portugal, I think, has seen a lot of demand for that. Also, as in Greece, have seen from the United States. So definitely as an event and focused on low risk real estate assets, I think I see it as a positive note. Also, I believe the fact that the cryptocurrency is actually facilitated through the announcements that the American government has made. Actually, from an economic point of view, actually, it's also a very, I think, also a positive announcement, as this will bring pressure from the West towards, I think Europe is the first stop, into creating a framework. Right now, Europe has a MiCA framework for regulating crypto assets. And actually being able to create an ecosystem that actually is able to allow easier transactions in real estate through crypto. So actually, I see on both from both point of views, I see an increase in demand in the next couple of years in terms of the real estate transactions. And also from our point of view as Luxembourg residents, actually, I want to tell you that we have also we are facilitating the ways for crypto investors to invest in real estate. I think it's a good note that the European Union has enforced the MiCA framework, the MiCA regulation. So I believe that actually it's I'm very optimistic about this. Yes.
Maybe I can also add to this because I saw in the chat before I closed, there was a question to Cyprus to pay in crypto. Yes, it's possible. And I see it very positive. It's still at the moment, it's so we have a partner in Switzerland. If you want to pay in crypto, it's no problem, but it have to be changed in fiat and then transferred from outside to Cyprus. We're still working on the administration here to make it possible straight, but it's not. So that's a little bit of a hassle, and maybe the colleague from Luxembourg can add something to that from that point of view. But we do it over Switzerland, where you have an account in your name and it will be switched. And there's a compliance topic on it. It's not so easy like in the US. I have accounts and everything also in the US. Having a bank account in Europe is already like a religion. You have to open like everything and drop your pants and everything, but it's much easier in the US. But I think it's possible, and there will be compliance, of course, if in the blockchain is anything related to the wallet with a bad pass or something that is tested. But it's possible to pay in crypto for sure. And I see it very positive that this is pushed, because technically it's also not to push away anymore. It's just not possible, in my opinion.
And so we received a question to Maria. What are the taxes for SCP if it is used by family funds?
SCSP is a tax transparent fund. So when it's used for investment purposes, it's completely tax transparent. So the any financial result will be directly attributed to the partners of the fund. What is important to mention that the SPF, the structure that I have been explaining in my presentation, is a very good solution to participate in this fund through an SPF will give you a chance not to be taxed on the personal level straight away, because the financial result from the fund will be attributed to the SPF and will not be included into the tax return of the physical person, physical investor.
The next questions that we had, which is kind of a tricky one because we have different jurisdictions here, but which country is the best and the fastest for citizenship by investment program, in your opinions?
Hi, Paulina. So I might answer a little bit about this question. So actually, because in Portugal, currently the citizenship application is possible after 5 years, and these 5 years count from the moment the investor submits everything for the golden visa application. So that is the date they consider to start counting these 5 years, and after which the investor can apply for the Portuguese passport.
We also had one question to the next group. Could you tell a little bit more about the projects you mentioned, the Redison and the Windham?
All right, then I'll switch on to Russian. The brand residencies all over the world are very well known. For Batumi, Georgia, this is something new. We have a lot of brand hotels in Georgia, but nobody before, but before our brand residence, nobody could purchase could actually sell the brand residencies anywhere in the world. Whereas the developer, if the developer can build such residencies through the cooperation with a global brand based upon a 20-year-long agreement and based upon their standards. Of course, they coordinate the location for the development, etc. Otherwise, no investment will make any investments. And following all of that, the development is taking place, the construction is taking place. Everything is regulated according to the brand's standards, and then all the units, all the rooms or suites are sold out. All the properties are sold out, and you get to become an owner of the property. That is your apartment, which you can sell at any point of time in the future. Although it's best to make some rental income, get some rental revenues, and then to sell it. But that is the case when the brand is managing the real estate on its own, and that is the first line. For example, the first line company of Redison, which includes casino, for example, which is operating outside of the season. You can consider their booking to see how much the brand hotel unit or suite is costing. Israeli citizens, Turkish citizens are coming to stay there because in our country all of these gambling is actually legal, whereas in their countries it's prohibited. So 40% is the share of Radisson, whereas 60% is split into, be careful now, split amongst all the investors. In which way? First and foremost, Radisson is taking 40% from off the total revenue. This includes the commissioning, management, insurance, or things that should be replaced, or the guest has broken something. Nobody's concerned over that. Radisson's taking care of that, and of course, cleaning and cleaning is included. And at the end of the day, Radisson will never hassle you. Even the utilities are paid by the brand itself. You never pay anything for anything. But whereas the rest, 60% in consideration. We in Batumi, Georgia, we don't have any tax, real estate or property tax. The only tax that we have in our country is a 5% tax for your official income in our country. That's the only tax we have. So if we consider the 60%, that tax is subtracted from those 60%, and the rest of the amount is split amongst all the shareholders based upon the share of every participant. Of course, it depends on whether you have one studio, one bedroom, a lux room. The more you have, the better it is for you. The larger you have the apartment, the more you will be making income. And investors, of course, like it very much because nobody has to think about whether how much is it, whose property is rented out. Is it yours or anybody else's? All of that is rented out, actually. So you can consider the official price lists. You can we have 62 to 63% occupancy throughout the year. If you consider ROI throughout the year at this level, you will get 12 to 14% revenue per year, per annum. That is let alone the fact that that real estate and property's price tag is growing year by year. So I believe this is the most interesting investment project nowadays. This was just in a few words, just a little overview. The approximate budget is about $128,000 per a studio, all inclusive, and we don't like to pay everything to use the down payment. We provide a 3-year long installments-based payment, so the capital allows us to do that. We can afford doing that. Thank you very much for this extended answer.
Another question when receiving registrations, and it's in regards of Greek Golden Visa. So what changes has Greek Golden Visa program faced in 2024, and how is it different now from what it was?
The lead, basically, that was the ending of my presentation, which I didn't get the time to fully disclose. But basically, there are 3 tiers in the Golden Visa regulation at the moment, since September last year, and specifically for real estate. We have the minimum threshold, which are the conversions. I think I elaborated on that mainly in my presentation, at 250,000 euros, and all eligible properties are conversions commercial to residential. So this is the first category. This doesn't have any other restriction other than the sort of rental policy that short-term rentals are not allowed. But this is the same for all tiers. Okay, so short-term rents are not allowed anymore, and you have to long-term rent your property. Other than that, there's no other restriction other than being conversion. There are 2 more tiers. The second tier is the 400,000 euros, which applies for rural areas outside the main metropolitan cities and islands below the 3,000 resident mark. So there's a 400K threshold, and also this applies in this threshold and the next one that I'm gonna mention. The net area of the property has to be above 120 square meters. So these are the restrictions for all residential properties. And the last but not least, and the most common restriction for all residential properties in metropolitan areas and most areas in Greece, frankly, is the 800,000 euros. So it has increased to 800,000 euros for all residential across the country, and the 120 square meters. So these are, in my opinion, the main changes that have affected. But any other thing, any other, I mean, the regulations are the same on most parts in other aspects besides this.
We kind of have similar question in regards of Portugal. We received a question also while registrations, and it sounds like I heard that program of Portugal has changed. What exactly happened and what types of investments still exists?
Yes, so following the amendments introduced in October 2023, from the existing 8 options available at the time, there has been reduced now to only 5 options. So 2 of them, it's 250,000 through donation. So they can donate to art, culture, or research projects. And then you have the job creation category, which is for creation of 10 jobs. You have also then the 500,000 investment, either through private equity fund or into a company, and this is also required to maintain at least 5 permanent jobs. So these are the 5 existing options available, although we do see the private equity fund as one of the fastest pathways to in terms of investment for the Portuguese golden visa, because, for example, in the case of donations, not this being not exactly an investment because you are actually donating the money, but the process itself, the programs that are eligible for this donation are have to be checked by the Portuguese government. So only those that they accept are eligible. And we know that there has been a study case of the very first applicant through donation that the investment itself took him around 2 years to be completed, meaning that he was only able to submit for golden visa application after 2 years. Now, if we compare to the private equity investment fund, so basically the client have to submit all of the documentation, then the law firm will help to get the Portuguese tax number, open a bank account in Portugal, and then the client can transfer the monies from the country of origin to the Portuguese bank account in order to complete the investment in the fund. So we estimate, usually according to our experience, this process from starting until the moment he applies for the golden visa takes only 1 month. So compared to the donation, it's much faster. And that's why we keep insisting with this route.
Another question, what additional costs, such as legal or administrative fees, should investor consider when buying property in Portugal?
So whenever there is property acquisition, there are the transference, so the ownership transference tax, and every year there's a specific municipality tax for property ownership, but these may differ depending on which is the region where the property is located. So each city hall has its own tax level, but we have our partner IAS service company that they actually provide assistance with this. So I can provide their contact details, and certainly they're more than happy to assist and give more specific tax rates on each of these locations in Portugal.
We have one more question to the next group. How easy it is to invest in Batumi? A pretty simple question, but maybe you can answer, Nicholas.
I'll try to break it down as easy as possible. Because indeed it's easy. Well, Georgia in general is one of the easiest countries to invest in when you are a foreigner, because it doesn't really matter where you're from. Nobody's requesting an official income declaration when you decide to invest in Georgia. There is no tax provided to you when you're investing in Georgia. And simple process looks like this. Let's say Paulina wants to get 1-bedroom apartment in Radisson. I'm just sharing the available options with Paulina. She is confirming that she wants this one. We are just, well, basically talking about the financing, internal financing, how much she wants to pay as a down payment. Is it monthly or quarterly payment? After that, I will request Paulina to provide me with her passport picture, phone number, email, and that's basically it. This information is forwarded to our lawyers department. They are creating preliminary agreement, purchase contract, let's say. So within the next few hours, sometimes it takes 24 hours as well. As soon as it's ready, it's forwarded to Paulina's email for the signature. When she is signing the document, she is sending it back to us. And so far I'm explaining this, I think you guys understand that distance sales are more than possible as well. We're closing 80% of our sales are from distance. And it's coming back to us. We're signing it as well, and we're sending the complete agreement to Paulina. And invoice is attached to. In Georgia, we are working with 2 global banks, 2 of the biggest ones. One is Bank of Georgia, and second is TBC Bank. And the person can transfer the amount to these banks by using her own bank, any international bank, whichever is using SWIFT transfers. This is the classic way. Also, you can visit us and pay with the cash payment in the head office. That's more than possible as well. We have a cashier here, and third option would be crypto payment. That's it. After that, in the future, when the person will decide to visit us, we are helping with registration of the property in the public hall. It's a governmental institute. It takes 20 minutes. And there's a small fee which you have to pay to the government, which is roughly like $70, one-time payment. No additional payments at all. That's it. Yep. Congratulations, you have the property in Georgia.
The next question that we received is about Cyprus. Is it possible to get a residency by investment for a family instead of just one person?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So, and I saw that someone else also asked about what is the minimum amount. I go back and see the video in my presentation, which you will send out. There are 2 ways into Cyprus. One is the residency by investment, like 300,000 plus VAT, and then the other one, if you're concerned about bringing more people with you, it's a much better option to make the company of foreign interest. Why? Because the main investor who gives 200,000, and look in my presentation, I don't want to repeat it now for those who are already here, have to invest 200,000, and he can bring his family with him. So that makes sense because this program was created to move people with businesses into Cyprus. And the best part of it is if you have friends or people, or of course qualified staff that you want to bring with you, if they pay minimum on 2,500 euros social insurance, they can also come and get their residency. So we recommend this as a better vehicle to Cyprus because it's more flexible, and you're also more flexible because you have an up and running company, and you can be active in not only in Cyprus, you can be active in whole Europe. And so the minimum ticket is 200 grand, which is plus or VAT or not, depending on the ways. See the presentation. And if you have more detailed question on your specific case, that's what I always say, just reach out, let's make an appointment and then talk about it. And also saying that, of course, look into the people you want to bring. There's also related stuff, of course, to the people and the background checks for the people. But in generally, the best ticket is 200,000. And then you bring, for sure, when you're the investor, your family, and then you can put on payroll people and bring them as well.
On this note, I have my last question. It's about Greece. What are the key benefits of investment in coastal properties versus urban properties in Greece?
So I would say that there is some key differences, although the whole cities are very beautiful indeed. From an investment point of view, though, the differences are, I would say, for the center that potentially it presents an opportunity for people that want to be in the more metropolitan side and the more lively side of the town, and as a result, most of the historical monuments exist there. All these factors attract tourism. So potentially someone that wanted to have an investment for short-term rent or hospitality kind of investment, oriented in those in that type and with yields of high single-digit yields. I think this would be the most attractive solution for those type of investor. If the type of investor would be looking into options that are perfect, like suitable for relocation purposes or for a high-end residency, comparing those with Central European countries like Monaco, or like, for example, have in mind around the Athenian Riviera. The Athenian Riviera has the biggest real estate development as we speak happening, 2 billion euro investment, and it's being reconstructed as one of the most luxurious parts of Greece and Europe. So people that would be potentially looking not only investment but also relocation in a high-end area would prefer a coastal location, and definitely we have like at least 4 projects to personally to propose in those areas. So and just a last note, potentially, because as you know, Greece is very strong on the summer season. Of course, I mean, we have an extended season of 8 months from March to October, but potentially people that would be looking also having a hybrid model of subletting the properties on both staying and renting. That would be also a nice opportunity for coastal areas to provide those hybrid opportunities for them.
Thank you so much, Vasilis. I don't think we got any new questions, so I think on this note we can actually finish our presentations. I would like to share our future events, and I would like to mention that, for example, Vasilis, you would be able to meet in Dubai. So in case you're interested, please register for our next event. I also would like to thank everyone who joined us today, to our speakers for introducing such an interesting topics, and we would be happy to see you again soon. And thank you so much for attention. And on this note, I would like to end this event.